everybody, welcome back to Hudson's House of Play, and thank you for joining me for our craft tutorial today. All of this week we have been talking about the natural wonders of the world, and we have been traveling all around the world seeing some of the most beautiful creations of Mother Nature. And for today we learned about our Victoria Falls. What a gorgeous waterfall that was, and I'm so glad I got to share that lesson with you. So in continuation of that lesson, we are going to make our very own waterfall. It's going to be a waterfall diorama. So let's talk about the materials we'll need for our diorama. I'm going to start with a shoebox. So this shoebox is pretty large, but I'm going to use this one so that you guys can see how I build our waterfall nice and clearly. You don't have to use a box as big as that. Miss Lynn has a smaller box, maybe something like this that you've gotten in a delivery. This is a little bit smaller, or you can even use a box shaped like this where the top comes off. So it's really your choice. Whatever you have, any kind of box will do. And if you don't have a box, you can use a tissue box, or you can use anything that you have with that similar shape. So what do we need next from our box? We're going to be using a lot of different decoratives. So that's going to depend on you what you want to use. But for our waterfall portion, Miss Lynn has some old tissue paper I'm going to use. Or if you don't have tissue paper, you can use some regular paper and you can color it in. So that'll be your choice, and I'll let you know when you can use that as your option. I also have some rocks. I love going outside and using what's out there in nature to create our diorama. And then I also have some faux plants here. I have a couple of pretend plants that I can use, or you can always go and get leaves from outside as well for your diorama. And as always, we need our usual tools like our glue, our scissors, staplers, tape, coloring tools, whatever you have, it will do. Now, what else do we need? I have some cotton balls here, and these cotton balls, when we pull them apart, will look really cool, just like the waterfall foaming up at the bottom. And then I also have a couple of options for any kind of greenery. I have my toilet paper rolls that I'll use so that you can get an idea on how to make a little tree. I also have these, I always have some of these like extra wine corks lying around, these corks. You can even use these and glue them into your diorama, and I'll show you how these can turn into little trees as well. But first, let's start with the basics, okay? And I want you to take some time to work on your diorama. You don't have to rush your project here. Miss Lynn is going to do some of the most basic steps, and then from there you guys are going to use your creativity to build out your diorama. So first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we're opening our shoebox, the bottom facing up, okay, and the lid laying flat on the bottom. Now you want that so that this will stay nice and sturdy and it won't tip over. This is a larger base, so it should look like this. All right, from here, what do we do? Well, we need some paper for our grass, our landscape. Now, if you would like to use plain white paper, you would just simply paint or color in your grass, but Miss Lynn has green paper. In addition to that, you can also use green tissue paper if that's what you have, or you can color the box directly. So if you have an empty box like Miss Lynn, doesn't have any writing or anything in there, you can get your markers or your crayons or your paint and just start going inside the box and coloring in the land. So Miss Lynn is going to plan on having my waterfall cascade through the center, and I'll give you a sneak peek of what that's going to look like. I'm going to grab my tissue paper here, and it's just a small piece, nothing crazy. And I'm going to give it a little crinkle so it has the look of water gushing. And I will be gluing it right at the top here and letting it cascade down just to the very base here. And I'll add some greenery and also some rocks at the top. So just to let you know, that's where we're going. And I'm going to start with I'm going to take 2 sheets of paper so that I can fill it inside. And what Miss Lynn is going to do is, because I want to make a little hill, I'm going to just roll my paper up just like this. And then I'm going to stick it into my box so that it looks like somewhat like this, okay? So I'm going to tape this down, or I'm going to glue this down, and you'll see I'll do it on both sides, and it will make a separation in between. So let me show you how I do that. First, let me just roll this up a little bit, just to make it nice and round, and it'll stand up. And then I'm going to fold up the edges so that I can stick it to the inside of my box. So let me just show you what I'm doing. See, I'm making my paper nice and rounded like that. And then I folded up the edges right here just so that I can tape it down easily. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm gonna grab my tape. I'll move this over a little bit. And I'm gonna take down my 2 pages here. You don't have to use a ton of tape. Just want enough. Oh, I didn't do the edge on this side. Let me do that quickly. There we go. I'm just gonna push it right up against here and tape it down. And let me show you what we just made. It looks like sort of like a hill right there between the 2. And I'll show you why. We are going to be adding our blue water right in the center. So all we're gonna do is take our tissue paper and just nestle it in between the little space that you just created. So I'm gonna nestle this right here, and I'm gonna add a little bit of tape or glue to make sure that it sticks and stays down. So Miss Lynn is gonna use her glue for this part. And it'll be pretty. There we go, just like that. I'm gonna add my water here. And if you have a little extra, it can hang out in the back, not a big deal. So let's see what that looks like so far. Wow, there. It's starting to come together already. Now we need our waterfall from the top. So let's get another piece of tissue paper. All right. Now this is the tricky part. We wanna kind of pull it straight like this so that you get that nice long stream, and you want to add it all the way up to the top, just like that. Can you see how that looks like a waterfall already? Miss Lynn is going to use her tape, and I'm going to tape this all down right here so that you guys can see what it should look like. That's one. And I'll tape it on this side as well. 2. All right, so far, check this out. Doesn't that look so cool? Now, if you need to add a little more glue, you can do that. I'm gonna keep mine a little bit loose, just so that it looks like a natural flow. All right, for the next step, what are we going to do? I am going to add the cotton balls, and I'll show you how the cotton balls can make our waterfall look like it's really splashing. So let's see, where are my cotton balls? All right, you're gonna take a couple cotton balls and watch what I do here. You're just gonna yank them open. You're gonna really spread the cotton ball out like that. And then we're going to fill it right at the bottom where you would imagine that the water would be splashing. So let's see, where's Miss Lynn adding it? I'm putting it right at the base here, right where the water would come down and start splashing all over. And you really want to pull your cotton balls so they look very, very foamy. And I'm going to do that with this one. And you can also use tissues or toilet paper. You just have to really shred it up and make that light, fluffy kind of foam look to it. All right, let's see how mine looks. There, look at that. It's just splashing right at the base. I'm gonna put a little glue on here so that it stays, and when Miss Lynn moves around my diorama, it doesn't go all over the place. So I'm just gonna actually stick some glue, whoops, I didn't open this up, right onto my cotton balls here, just a little bit, and then I'm gonna stick it right at the base. I'm gonna spread it out like so, and really try to emulate that look of a waterfall coming down with all the foam splashing out, just like our Victoria Falls. So I'll show you what mine looks like so far. Ta-da! Doesn't that look cool? All right, now this is, oh, I have a little glue on my hands. Let me add a little piece of this cotton ball right here, just to make that glue stick. Okay, now what we want to do that adds the final touches to our diorama is all of the greenery. So you want trees, you're gonna wanna add some rocks, you're gonna wanna add, oh, and if you have little toy animals, you can add those in here too. Now Miss Lynn is going to do, I'm going to take my toilet paper roll here. I'm gonna grab my scissors and I'm gonna cut a couple of slits at the bottom of my toilet paper roll just so that I can tape it down to our diorama. So I just added a couple slits here, and I'm gonna fold this back so that we can add it to our diorama for a tree. I think I'm gonna put this tree in the back though, yeah. I'm gonna use tape just because the tape is a little bit easier for Miss Lynn right now. That way I don't have to wait for my glue to dry, right? That takes a little time, but you guys have all the time in the world. So if you wanna use your glue, you can do that. That might be a little bit more stable. All right, I've got my tape ready to go here. Whoops, one more piece. Let's get that there. And I'll stick it right onto our little mountain, our little hillside here. And it doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. You just do the best that you can. There's my little tree right here, kind of on a hillside. And I have a couple of pom-poms. You can use pom-poms, or you can also use any kind of faux greenery that you might have. Miss Lynn has some greenery here. I'm gonna see if I can add some of these green leaves into my diorama, and that should look pretty cool. And I'll show you what that looks like so far. Oh my gosh, look at how much this little greenery has changed our diorama. It looks pretty awesome. All right, I'm gonna make sure that this is secured onto my green sheet here, and then I'll move on to the next part. And remember, you can go outside and just grab some leaves too. So we have our waterfall portion, we have our bubbling, our splashing up over here, and then we have our stream and our hillside here. Now next, I'm gonna add just some rocks at the very top. You should find some lighter rocks. Miss Lynn got some rocks that are a little bit big and heavy, so I'm just gonna add a couple here, and I'm not gonna go too crazy with my rocks. I don't want them toppling over or destroying my diorama over here. Just gonna stack a few rocks on the top. I did get a big one, so I'll put a big rock down below. That'll be kind of cool to look at. There are always rocks all around these waterfalls and structures. So let's see how Miss Lynn's diorama is looking so far, and I'll show you what the rocks add. And if you don't want to put the rocks, hey, you don't need to put the rocks, all right? Let's see what this looks like so far, you guys. Look, oh, whoa, it almost fell, my rocks. Oh, I told you they're pretty heavy. This looks pretty cool. I'm gonna push this down a little bit more. There we go. Now I have my waterfall here. I have my rocks on the top, and you can add more to the top if you'd like. If you want to add some greenery, if you want to add some leaves or some flowers, you can do that, or some animals as well. And then the last part I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to use these little corks, and I will stick them around to make little trees. So let's see, I'm going to use the puff balls. What did I do with those puff balls? Oh, here they are. I dropped them. I'm going to add a couple of puff balls on top of my wine cork, and it'll look like a little tree, and I'll just use some glue for that. And remember, this is just the start of your diorama. You have all day to complete your diorama. You take as much time as you'd like. Maybe I'll put this one up here. I could do a collection of a few. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Let me do a few different ones. I'm going to use the tape so that you can see what it looks like when I use the tape to stick this on. Here we go. Oh, those rocks have some dirt on them, so they are just a little dirty. This isn't sticking so well. How about we use something else? Miss Lynn will use something else. I'm going to use the tape on the side of the box. That'll work. Let's see. We'll do it like this. Yes, that should work nicely. And remember, you're using your glue or you're using your tape or your stapler. So just figure out what works for you and what helps everything stay. I really like the look of the greenery, so I'm going to add some more of those faux plants into our diorama, and that way we'll really bring to life some of these pretty flowers. All right, I'm just yanking them right off. See? I'm going to stick some into the side of our shoebox here, adding some greenery over here. And let's see, I'm going to do, I've got another good one. A couple of pretty flowers here. I'm going to just pull them right off, and I'll add them to the bottom here. How does that look so far? I think the real plants would be even better, or if you had some cool herbs, that would be fun as well. I'm going to put another little leaf here. And let's see, do I have some other? I think I'm going to stick with this flower because this looks really pretty and it's easy to take off. All right, let's see, maybe I'll add some just back here. There we go. And now we have our waterfall diorama. It's ready to go. Let's fluff up our waterfall a little bit. Our rocks are nice and heavy up here. They're holding my waterfall down. And you can add anything else that you'd like. Miss Lynn even has this little fun blue tool that I had left over. And I could even add that right on the top, just like that, to make it look even more splashy. All right, I had so much fun making this diorama with you guys. I hope you have fun making one as well. And don't forget, use whatever you have. If you don't have a shoebox, that's okay. You can try something different. Any kind of box will do. The more creative and imaginative you are, the better it will turn out. I hope you have fun, and I hope you send it in to Lynn at Hudson'sHouseOfPlay.com. Until next time, I'll see you later. Goodbye to all my friends. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye to all my friends. I'll see you again. From your place to my place, from your room to the classroom. Goodbye to all my friends. I'll see you again.